Have you ever wondered why many influential leaders have military backgrounds? However, you do not have to join the military to create an effective leader. I'm Eric with Leadership Developed. This week, we will share with you why military training is effective and how you can use it within your organization. The greatest resources within the military institution is the people who volunteer to serve. In this organization where the executive managers, who are the politicians and the generals, cannot manage the million-plus service members independently. It takes influential leaders on the tiers below to create miracles out of nothing. The following are the realities in which leadership training becomes effective for military officers and non-commissioned officers who are trying to perfect this skill. The first reality is the hierarchy structure, or the command structure. The number of levels between top to bottom is greater than the largest businesses in the world. The Marine Corps relied on what we call small unit leaders. And those small unit leaders come together to inform their company commander. And the company commanders come together to inform their battalion commanders. And the battalion commanders come together to inform the regimental commanders. And the regimental commanders come together to help the division commander. And the division commanders come together to talk to the commandant. That's a lot of structure. And that starts, that's just within the Marine Corps. And we're only 172,000 people at the time I was in. Now imagine what the Army is. Million plus. The Air Force, the Navy. They all have these levels of structure to be able to effectively lead the people they're in charge of. With this structure is the mentality of grow or die. What I mean by that is you have to be competitive for promotion at any given time. When you're looked at and you're not ready, you will be called passed over, or you will be not selected for next rank. And in that time, you have to be working your way, transitioning out to the civilian life. It's a matter of cultivating, learning, growing into your next leadership step, because the competitiveness gets greater as you go up the chain or as you go up in the ranks. Now, you don't get promoted for your leadership skills, you get promoted for your management skills. You produced a result, you made something happen, you are dependable. That's a managerial skill. Your leadership skills allows you to be able to complement your managerial skills because they're going to take care of the people below. The second reality is the number of people any leader is in charge of. Small unit leaders can be in charge of up to 13 people. That's pretty impressive for somebody that just turned 21 years old to be in charge of 13 others to go into harm's way during combat. For myself, I've been part of leadership teams that have been up to 5,000 people. And to be able to judge how effective our leadership was go all the way to the bottom and find out, do they share our vision? Do they understand the mission? And are they staying within the core values? For us leaders, it was important for us to be effective all the way down and to be able to create that culture, to nourish that culture in which we're bringing our young leaders, our subordinate leaders, and letting them understand and learn what our decision-making process was. How did we come to this conclusion? Let them come to the conclusion. Also, let them help us refine our mission. Let them tell us what the reality is because they live in it. We don't. We're a little bit up there, separated from it, trying to look at the larger picture. It's those small unit leaders that has the details that will let you know if this is effective or not effective. And it's also allowing them to have the creativity to execute the mission on their own accord, but still hitting what you desire to see as the results. Speaking of results, our third reality is there are immediate results or consequences for decisions that are made. That helps our decision-making process. It helps us train decision makers because we can give what we call in the flashbang theory is for every decision there is a result that immediately happens and we can learn from that decision whether it was effective, ineffective, or just downright ugly. Where all leaders will struggle, whether you're in the military and out or in the civilian world, is what is the second and third order effects of that decision. And what I mean by that is, okay, so we made a decision and we had the immediate result. But this result from this decision is going to compound in the future to other things. What happens in the corporate world is you get leaders in managerial positions who have these great visions. But they're only in the seat at an average 5 years. That vision has to be continued to see fruition. Most times their successors will destroy what was built to put in their own vision. Other times they're grooming their successor to be able to continue the vision and to be able to implement their new vision into what's trying to be established. So what we mean by the second and third order effects is what happens in the future past that first result. You can have a positive first order result from a decision, but have consequential problems from that initial result. We call that a Band-Aid solution. Band-Aid solutions are great for the immediate problem, but it does not solve the overall long-term problem, which is, let's say we're bleeding money. We can have a negative cash flow, and our immediate answer would be sell assets so we have money in the bank. That's great for a short-term solution, but if you're still bleeding money, you're eating away out that cash that's in the bank without being able to recoup and grow with it. So the second order effect is, yes, we solved a problem, then we forgot about, so now we create a new problem, we continued the same problem and ignored it because the immediate solution, we thought we had it corrected. Second and third order effects have to be part of your planning process. When you go through problem solving, you have to think about what happens after we get this corrected. Let's go back to the cash flow. We have a cash flow problem. We sold assets to put money in the bank, so we're in the green. We're not going to be insufficient or behind on payments. What are we doing to make sure that that cash flow goes from negative to positive so we can continue growing that and not selling off more assets and finding ourselves going into bankruptcy? Those are the ways you have to think about your second and third order of effects. Or the fourth reality of military leadership training is the fact that we have schools, we have courses for every rank to go through. It's important as a growing leader to understand, if I'm not selected to go any of these courses, even though it takes me out of my job and it's an inconvenience, I should be asking why I'm not good enough to go there. It should be important for you as well to ask your organization, am I not good enough for this additional training? Would it benefit the organization for me to have this additional training, these workshops, bring in guest consultants or guest speakers to help us learn from our own mistakes? And the fifth reality is there are opportunities everywhere. In the military, there seems to be more jobs than people that are allocated to those jobs. So as a growing leader, it's important for you to see those opportunities. Take those opportunities. We call them bad deals, but the thing is though, by taking a bad deal, you can actually highlight who you are. Show your tolerance to BS. Show that you have fortitude to take on an additional project, to take people that's not even under your hierarchy and bring them together and show your influence, to show your creativity and to show your collaboration that you can complete this project. Opportunities are everywhere in the business world as well. Businesses are paying people more to do two people's jobs than to hire those two people. Keep showing your ability to be a leader by taking on those extra projects, by saying, I will take on this project, I'll need the help of these people that are not under my hierarchy, and be able to come together, build a team, build a committee, and be able to find a solution and create a solution for the problems facing us. So how can you create these opportunities to train your people to lead effectively? First, evaluate your hierarchy. Find locations in which you can delegate authority, but not responsibility. It's always your responsibility at the end. But delegate that authority. Give them a chance to show autonomy. Give them a chance to be able to show they have the ability to take a project off your plate and be able to manage it and lead others to its success. Also determine, do you have a flat hierarchy? Well, that means who's making the decisions? Who's mitigating the risks? As a leader, or as a business owner, it's important for you to understand that you need those people to be able to make decisions in your absence. Otherwise, everything stalls. Your growth, your company's growth will stall as it waits on you to make a decision. By training your people to effectively make decisions at their proper level, you're able to create an agile organization. You're also able to create autonomy, trust, and a culture of excellence. Try what we call a role exchange day. And the example that I had was I brought in an E5 to sit at my desk for one day. And my leadership team picked people down from the front line, the guys that turned the wrench, the grunts that were out in the field. We brought them to sit in our positions. And they spent a day dealing with the leadership challenges that we deal with every day. That way you open their eyes to there's more in the organization than what they deal with at their level. By showing them a larger picture, by showing them a glimpse of your day-to-day, you're able to create sympathy, empathy, and an understanding of why the mission, the vision, and the core values are established the way they are. And last but not least, bring in somebody from the outside who can help you problem frame what you have going on within your organization. Understand that these experts know what to look for. They're looking for patterns. They're not in the weeds like you are. They're not in the day-to-day grind. They're out, they look at the big picture and they work their way down. Then also, we work our way from the bottom and look up to see how effective that top leader or that top manager's leadership goes through the system to hit the front line, to hit those customer-facing employees. There's no one industry that has a monopoly on understanding leadership. We must understand that leadership is a societal skill, not a role, not a position, but a skill that involves society, your social skills. You can use it at home, you can use it within your neighborhood, you can use it at work. Leadership is everywhere. When you understand and accept that leadership is a societal skill, you start finding opportunities everywhere. You start increasing your influence amongst people around you. You start becoming the leader that your community needs. It'll also be easier for you to create future leaders to help you propel your vision past your time. I'm Eric with Leadership Developed. If you like this video, do us a favor, give us a thumbs up. Also, hit subscribe. Help us build a community of future leaders to be able to build a stronger world. If you missed last week's video, check it out right here. We'll talk to you again next week.